Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where it is that time once again. It is shard pulling time. Actually, kind of a weird shard pulling time for me, because the 10x event is just flipped over, which is where we're pulling. It's 8 p.m. I nearly always pull shards at like 9 or 10 in the morning. We know when the shard events start. This one is a weird one this weekend, where it flipped halfway through Saturday, as it were. So yeah, it's 8 p.m. Let's see if we get lucky here coming into this evening. So, obviously, this is part of the summon rush for the Owella fusion. We do unfortunately need 3,500 points to get the two rares. So that kind of sucks, to be honest, because they're both mandatory. Unless you pull this rare somehow along the way, or you got an extra epic along the way, luckily somehow, from like a random shard. These are mandatory, right? And that this is just a very, very high point. It's not as bad as some of the other fusions, but it's up there as rough. I said it's best to expect about 8 sacreds worth. This is 7 sacreds worth. It's on the high end. Really, my message to Raid Shadow Legends developers, please, the summon rush should never require anything more than this. This should be the absolute max, and realistically, it should often be down here, or maybe even down here. Come on, let's make it happen. Anyway, they're never going to do it. It used to be like that a couple of years ago. It's not going to happen again. Anyway, how many points am I going to go for? Well. I actually have some shard theory crafting videos coming out this week because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Let me whip out the notepad, our trusty notepad. Let me show you the stuff that I've worked out so far, at least for today's video anyway. So where am I in my Mercy? I actually went through, this is how I track my Mercy. I often get asked the question, nubkeks, how do you track your Mercy? Is there an in-game way to do it? And the answer, of course, unfortunately, is no. There's no in-game way to do it. So I tracked it by looking through my old shard pulling videos because I basically only ever pull shards on videos. During the Fortis Guaranteed event, I actually pulled a legendary for the first time in forever, which was Hegemon, who's an okay champion, but really not in the meta, and I barely use him at the moment. Could be great sometimes, but I don't really use him much, to be honest. I got him on my 9th shard, which means I pulled another 71. For Grishnak, I actually am not sure if that was a 2x or 10x event. Probably a 2x. I pulled 10 shards for that one. Void shards. For the Christmas 2x voids, I pulled 41. And then for the Owella 2x, last weekend, I pulled 28. Add that stuff all together, and I am, so long as I've not made a mistake and miscounted, which is possible, I'm 150 into Mercy timer, which means that with 50 more shards, we hit Mercy, and then another 20 beyond that, we are up to that 100% chance for a legendary, which means that with 70 shards, which we have, we should definitely hit a legendary today. And interestingly, for the Summon Rush, we'll get 6,000 points if we hit, if we pull 50 voids. If we go the full way to 70, we'd get 8,400, which is a bit overkill, though we would hope we wouldn't go that far. I mean, to go the full way to 220 Mercy is pretty unlucky. It'd be pretty great to at least grab this Legendary Tome. The Feast would be nice, maybe not essential, but we shall see. And the final interesting thing, we do have a very good, considering we're going to get a Legendary, we've got a pretty insane 10x on right now for Void Legendaries. Cardiel and Yumeko. I don't have either of those champions, and they're both insane. And let me just show you this. So I thought this was interesting. If you're curious, I went through and I marked the Void Legendaries for me that would be useful. I was a little bit on the fence between Eilil and, I don't know, there's a Raka in there somewhere. So I gave the point to Raka. I kind of said between Eilil and Raka, it's kind of like, are either of them useful? I don't know. But I did mark through each faction. I said that 19 of these Void Legendaries I would consider to be useful. If I scroll in and scroll down, it won't quite work. If I scroll out, you can see everything. There we go. My head's in the way. I said 19 out of the 44 possible Void Legendaries you can pull from Void Shards. 19 of them are useful. It's actually 43% chance only. So there's a 57% chance by default with normal odds that I'd pull a Legendary that's not really that good. It's either a duplicate, which maybe not entirely useless. Now, this is a bit of a binary distinction, useful and useless, but still, I think it's quite cool. Now, in this one, where we have 2 champions, boosted 10x, this actually really changes the chances. It jumps up to 37 out of 62 possible. If you want to know where I'm getting these numbers, I did a video recently, I think in the last couple of videos on the channel, I think. where I broke it down. In fact, I think it was when I did the video analyzing this 10x event. I actually broke down how this stuff works. So if you want to see more about that, you can. I actually have a 60% chance if I pull a legendary that it will be a useful one. It's not a 60% chance it'll be these two, right? But the extra chances to pull these two are adding up to that extra 17% right there, okay? So it's a pretty big deal. A pretty good chance to get something useful, and obviously we're hoping some of the useful ones are more useful than others. Like I've got some of them marked as useful in there that are okay, and then there's some like Yumeko, Cardiel, Acrisia, etc. that are insane. Yeah, and actually here's another fun little thing, and then we'll pull some shards. I know you want to pull it. I know. I actually worked this out, and I thought this was pretty crazy, and this is a preview of a video I'm going to work on during the week. I wanted to work out, well, what would be how many shards on average would I have to pull to get a useful legendary? And I found that in 2x events, and I'll do a video explaining what the heck is going on here, 203 shards. I have to pull 203 void shards, typically speaking, on average, in 2x void events, 203 to get a useful legendary. I'd get more than that, but they wouldn't be useful. In a 10x event, 214. 214. Sorry, this is a double 10. I should put that in. A double 10x event would be 214. It's not just a standard double. So it means that in a single double, in a single 10x event, let's say it was the 10x Acrisia, starting from 0 mercy, this is with 0 mercy, it would be slightly worse, but it's really close. With this situation, we've got good 2x. It's really close for me. I don't need any of the epics. It's very close to being better than 2x events. And certainly when we factor in mercy up here, this is factoring no mercy at all. It's almost as good. When we put in this mercy, it becomes way better. Enough babbling, says you. Let's pull some gosh darn shards. Well, let's go do it. We might hit legendary early, but we should definitely hit legendary today. It should happen. We hit an epic early on. That's nice. Of course, epics and Legos, etc. are not going to give us any extra points towards Summon Rush. It's just we're in it for the champions and simply for the champions. We actually did really well in terms of epics right there. Well, Rowan is not very useful, but she's there. Lua's not bad, and Rugnar's actually pretty good because he does the increased attack on himself, then he does weaken and decrease defense. Quite a nifty champion for some Demon Lord clan boss, unkillable sort of bat eater teams, and can be good for some spider stuff too. Also, Paragon the Rare in there, really useful. Let's go again. Again, if we hit legendary early, we're doing well. We've hit legendary outside of mercy. We can maybe change up our shard strategy for the summon rush, maybe even stop. But yeah, oh man. Could we get the Cardiel? Could we get a Yumeko? Could it happen? We've got a Broadmaw. It's so exciting. Hooray, let's go again. Moving swiftly on. I mean, Broadmaw's a great champion. Don't get me wrong. The permanent fusion, you can get as many of him as you want, almost. Obviously, it takes a while to get the rares, but not too bad. You pull lots of rares, as we can see. Andrissia. Come on, let's go. Let's go. What do we got? We've got a Golden Reaper. Actually, two really good epics. Golden Reaper is really underrated. The thing that makes her actually really good is that she's got a very high base speed. It's actually higher than that. That's her 4-star unascended. I think it's 111 base speed, so she's way faster than a Haikatoon or an Apothecary, and that's her advantage. And then her A1 is actually quite good for Hydra. She's a good Hydra champ. Maybe not as broadly useful, though, as Apothecary, which is where she's struggled, but she's underrated with that base speed. Andrissia, okay, sort of budget champ for faction wars and arena and stuff like that. I use her in arena for that, you know, use a team from one faction. I use her with like my Arbiter team, like Arbiter, Lysandra, her, and then a nuker, right? And it works quite well. Getting a bunch of rares here. Oh boy. Still nothing. I think... Okay, we've got one more 10 pull, and then we're hitting Mercy, right? After this, we should be in Mercy. We're not in Mercy yet, so it's still, whatever, a 0.5% chance per shard. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just a low chance. But from this point on, okay. All right, we've got a lot of points in the bank right now. So from this point on, the chance of legendary, if I've added it up correctly, starts to skyrocket. I'm always so scared I should really track it properly. So scared doing this that, you know, you pull them and no legendary pops and it's, oh no, it's a Gurgoh. No. It's a Gurgoh, the Augur. We go back to my useful voids. We've got whatever, the 4 on the top. Ogren tribes. I gave it a 0. It's not a useful legendary. Gurgoh the Augur. I don't even I, I don't even think I'm gonna use him in Faction Wars. I don't think I'm gonna use him in Faction Wars. I think he'd actually make the team slower. Oh no. Well, Gurgoh, look, he puts an extra hit if the target is a freeze, and that's cool. Removes 2 random buffs. This is his main move. It's an AoE. Removes 2 random buffs from all enemies, and then it bucks up to from an 80 to a 100% chance to freeze all enemies for a turn and gives them an extra turn. I mean, as a buff stripper in Arena, like it's fine. It sort of does the job, and then it can freeze them. Obviously, like Stone Skin really gets in the way of this these days, though, and like for how useful is freezing them. And because you need to build him in Arena with so much accuracy to do this, and you're going to need good speed as well, like he's not going to do any damage, so the extra turn's not very useful. It's all this extra hit if they're frozen. Like, he can hit hard. He does in Doom Tower, doesn't he? When he's against you, but not very useful. He's a chance to freeze the attacker if he gets hit hard. Great. And then at, 44%, that's honestly probably the best part of his kit. If you get this guy early, he's obviously fantastic. But I mean, for me, I've got so many buff strippers. Like, I don't need a Gurgoh. Oh, that feels bad. Oh man, I did this whole fucking notepad, and I was like, I'm surely gonna get a Yumeko now after that. I think maybe we just broken-heartedly stop there. What do you think? Here we go. We got the 2 rares. We need how many points? We need like 200 points for a feast. We might as well grab the feast. It's not a useless thing. Oh my god, go away with the packs. Our void shards are super low though. They're super low. So we need like what, 2 more voids? You know what? Let's do it. Screw it. Let's do it. We're miles off a guaranteed anyway. It's not happening. It's not. We gotta pull another one after that. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely heartbroken. She's not one of the useful ones. I just can't believe, no. Yes, this is huge. Yumeko definitely was one of the useful ones. She's a 10x. It's not a Gurgoh. It's an amazing champion. This is huge. This is going to change up my Arena teams. She's going straight in. I will be streaming next CVC, by the way. It's not this week, it's the next week. So not upcoming Tuesday, the following Tuesday. I did miss last Tuesday. Wasn't feeling well. Actually, I've still been feeling pretty sick. But hopefully bloody be better. I'm sick of being sick, you know? Next CVC I will be streaming. We'll build her up during that CVC. And it's going to make a huge difference. Straight into the Arena teams with this move. Decreasing ally skills, increasing enemy skills. That is insane. Gurgoh gets flustered by the Stone Skin meta, and Yumeko goes, I'm just going to increase your cooldowns, and there's nothing Stone Skin can do. Insane A2 as well. 80% books to 100% chance to place Hex for 3 turns. And then whenever an enemy tries to place debuffs on any of your team, you've got a 75% chance when booked to transfer the debuffs to an enemy with the Hex on instead. It's nuts. That's so strong. 30 books to a 50% chance against bosses. It's still really good. Just throw those boss debuffs back half the time at them. So nice. And then actually one great thing about this that I love, Karato Fox Hunter is actually, I think visually, I think he's super cool. I've never really had a purpose to build him because he's just another nuker. With Yumeko though, I think I actually have a video where I jumped on someone's account for a showcase. I think Karato, when he is with Yumeko, is actually fantastic. He's actually really good. So that might actually be something that's worth doing. It now makes Karato worth building and booking and properly using. Whereas without Yumeko, he's a good nuker, but I mean, again, for me, same thing with Gurgoh. Lots of buff strippers already. I've got lots of nukers already. Karato is not that valuable. With Yumeko, though, it opens up possibilities. Good A1 stealing turn meter. Passive, great for the start of Arena. Immune to all debuffs. She has a perfect fail when the thing starts and she's immune to debuffs. Really protects her from like Torments and Hegemons and that sort of thing, which is always cool. Accuracy in all battles. Oh, today is a good day. Let's go one more. Here's the Cardiel. Come on. The Cardiel. Okay, that's that's a Harrier just as good. It's actually, if he put on a bit of gold paint, he's in the right faction. Even he could probably pull it off. To be honest, yeah, just give him some big shoulder pads, strap on a pair of fake wings, bit of gold paint, and have him poop his pants and have a weird stance. That's what Cardiel's like. There we go. Hey, oh, I've got an Immortal Soulstone. Let's pull that for fun. Why the heck not? But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Wow, that was a roller coaster of emotion. We'll build Gurgoh as well, just for building him, but I don't think I'll book him. But Yumeko's, yep, it's happening. Oh man, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a great time. I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.